Happy Monday, everyone. It's your host, Christal Jordan, here with Rolling Out's Reality Check. And I have a special treat for you guys today. If you have not tuned in before, you are blessed to have tuned in today because we have veteran actor Clifton Powell. Welcome to Reality Check.
I'm glad to be here.
We've been talking. We've had a lot of fun with you so far. This is your second time to Rolling Out in 2 weeks. We are just enjoying your presence here at Rolling Out.
I'm having a good time. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming back. Of course, we wanted you to come in and talk a little bit about your character Rex on Saints and Sinners. First of all, I hear the show is doing extremely well.
Yes.
Extremely well. All black cast on a predominantly black network, and it's been #1 in its time slot. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody out there.
Absolutely. Now, Rex has a lot going on. Rex is a little scary. Rex scared some people here though.
I like to refer to Rex as a rascal. He's a rascal. What I like people to understand is that it's just acting. It's just training.
Yeah.
I'm probably remembered from playing Cuddy and some of the other tough guys that I played, and I just try to remind people. I think I was telling somebody the other day, if something broke out in this room right now, I'm calling the police on everybody, and I'm getting out because I don't get in trouble. I can't get in trouble.
You can't. But do you like playing those menacing characters?
The thing is about Rex is what people should know is that The Under Shepherd was the movie that we did, which is and Saints and Sinners is sort of a spin-off of Under Shepherd.
Okay.
And in The Under Shepherd, I played a pastor, which was so funny that couldn't preach. And ironically, I can preach, so Russ was like, Cliff, don't preach. So what they did when they flipped it is they made Rex, the bad guy in that small town.
Right.
And his buddy was the pastor. And the pastor went one way and Rex went the other. Right. So, to me, it's easy to play Rex because I'm nothing like Rex.
Right.
So it's easy to morph into something that you're not like, But I think I do have we're on episode 4 now. By episode 6, it's gonna be cooking with bacon grease, and Rex is gonna turn things upside down. So part of it is just reading what's on the page and finding those levels with Rex. Because. This year we see Rex is, falling even more in love with Lady Ella. Yeah. So it's been interesting.
Yeah. What has been? I don't know if you can even give us this because I've seen you play a preacher. I've seen you play a father. You've seen you play the bad guy that is really bad, and then the bad guy that isn't that tough. What has been your the most fun character to play for you so far? And I mean, you've played so many characters. I don't know if that's an easy question, but do you have one?
That Ice Cube stuff with Pinky, it had to be the funnest time on the set. Ray, we had a great time with, Jamie Foxx and all his guys, and we were all on the set, and there was a lot of people out there every day, and Jamie is just a wonderful guy to work with, Lorenz and Terrence Howard and Regina King. We all are friends, so that was a fun time. I think, I did a movie in, I think it was 97 called Selma, Lord Selma, where I played Dr. Martin Luther King. And for me, that to me is like the pinnacle of a character to play because he was such a dynamic man. So I had a lot of fun on that set because, it was a lot of extras, right? And God rest her soul, Yolanda King was on the set. So I would do spoofs about Dr. King on the set, and then they say, here comes Yolanda, you better stop. So I'd just be teasing, doing stuff, and we had a lot of fun on that set. And as a character actor, that was probably one of my most challenging roles.
Yeah, wow, okay. I gotta tell you, we polled people before you came on, and people's favorite character from the demographic that we serve was Pinky.
Yeah, of course. Everybody, and the funny thing about Pinky, if I can say to everybody out there, Ice Cube saw me in Dead Presidents.
Yes, that's one of my favorites.
And one of my partners was doing the behind the scenes of Dead Presidents. I'm not Dead Presidents, a music video that Ice Cube was doing. Okay. And Cube asked him, he said, man, I saw this movie, this guy named, I can't remember his name, he played this character named Cutter. And he said, you talking about Cuddy? He said, yeah. He said, that's one of my friends. So I got home, my ex-wife said, icy hot or ice, Mr. Icy Call. She didn't know, she's not hip hop. So I said, you mean you should ice? It wasn't iced tea. It wasn't iced tea. It's ice refrigerator cube. I said, ice cube? She said, yeah. So I had went in to have a meeting with Cube, and they had considered somebody else for that role.
Okay.
So when I got the script, I read it, all the repeating stuff was in there. And then I had the pink suit on. So the day I got there, I knew it was going to be funny. But when me and Cube basically directed that scene in the record shop, I wasn't getting it. So I think we did, I would say at least 10 takes, me and him together. And, you know, Cube was really quiet. So we had like a stare off. And I'm still trying to pay my bills. So he's staring at me, I'm staring at him, and I'm just thinking, bruh, let's figure it out, because I don't want to have to go back and work at my cousin Cleaners. I stole that joke from Eddie Murphy. Shut up. And so I just looked at him after a minute, because, and what happens on movie sets is that you can get fired at the end of the day. They'll let you shoot out the day, and they'll fire you at the, well, they'll let you go. They like to say let you go. They don't like to say fire, because then people want to retaliate and stuff. Then we have to get the security on your ass. No, they shut up. So I wasn't getting it. So I looked at Cube and I said, why don't you take the gun and show me what you're talking about? And a lot of times directors don't like to show actors. I said, Cube, listen, man, this is our first time working together. And it was getting a little, it wasn't like tense like if we were about to fight. But it was getting tense like you're supposed to be Cuddy, the big time actor, and you can't get this little character. And he took the gun, he said, I'll blow your head smooth off. And my improv skills, that's why I tell all the young people out there who are actors, doesn't matter where you're from, get your training. Because I did a movie called The Breaks. I don't know how many people saw this goofy movie, but this is a funny movie, and I jumped around in that movie. So I took the gun back and I said, I'll blow your head smooth off. Say it again, say something else. And I started jumping around. He said, what did you do? I said, I don't know what I did. I just did what I did in The Breaks. He said, do that again. So that's how we built on it. And then the second time we did it, I came in the second one, the Christmas one. Merry Christmas, everybody. Because as an actor, I would try to add some different levels to Pinky. He said, man, cut. He said, man, if you don't start jumping around, we're going to send you home. And so I always like people to know the behind the scenes, because Pinky looks like an easy character. Pinky, for me, was harder to play than Rex Fisher. Because what happens with comedy is if you play comedy the wrong way, you play for the laugh, or you don't make it sincere. So in closing, that last part of Pinky, when he was in a record shop, so when I was practicing it, you know, by myself, I was like, should I cry right here? Or should I make it a caricature without him really crying? And what made him really funny is that he really did start crying.
That's crazy, because it looks like we would never thought that
it was harder to do than any of the tough guy stuff I've done.
Wow. Well, we were talking a little bit before the show about how young actors, and we know kids today want to be entertainers. That's what most of the kids want to be. They want to be on TV, they want to act, they want to sing, they want to rap. And there's not really a mentorship, but there's not really a place where they can go and really learn the real, you know. You can go to acting school, you can go to a performing arts school as you did, but there's not really, like, is there like an internship program where you can't do that, you know? So how do you think, what do you think the biggest misconception is that people have before they get into an acting career?
Well, I believe the biggest issue, and let me go back. What happens, you're talking about mentorship programs. When you go into the NFL or the NBA, they have programs to help young ball players adjust to making a lot of money, dealing with the spotlight, dealing with, you know, hanger-ons, dealing with family members. Hanger-ons is different than women. There are hanger-ons that are men and women, and then you have the women.
And the women.
They asked me to do a movie years ago that I'm not exactly sure why it didn't happen, called Hoop Hoes. And it's an Esquire magazine article, if you go back in the 90s, about all the stuff that goes on in NBA. So they get mentorship and seminars and things like that, and role-playing exercises. I have a thing that I do called Behind the Lens that is, I've done only one time, and I want to do it, you know, I want to take it to the HBC colleges, and I want to take it around the country, because I want young people to understand, and I'm going to take it to SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, so that I can use all the things that I didn't understand when it came to being in the spotlight,
Yeah.
handling money, dealing with hanger-ons, dealing with people in your own camp. I always tell people the enemy is right in the house.
Yeah.
You know, right in your camp. You know, all my friends who I thought loved me, who were waiting for me to fail. That's why 50 Cent named that movie Don't Self-Destruct.
Yeah.
So I think it's necessary because as we look around the landscape, some of my friends who have fallen off for whatever reason, you know, I'm not always sure how I handle the pressure.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something that's needed.
It is needed. If you're just tuning in again, this is Christal Jordan. This is Monday's Reality Check with veteran actor Clifton Powell. We've talked to him about the role Rex that he's playing on Saints and Sinners, and now talking a little bit about your career. When did you know that because you've been in over 100 movies and television, but when did you know that you had made it? Like you go out of the house and people were recognizing you. What was the role that kind of catapulted you to that next level when you're like, okay,
That's a good question.
I got this.
I think most people equate making it when you got enough money in your bank account.
You can relax.
I remember the first time I saved $10,000 because I'm from the hood, you know.
Right.
So back in my day, man, $100 was like a lot of money. I told Romeo when I was here, I said I want to be a bus driver. After football, that was my only desire, was to be a football player. I had no desire to be anything else after that. So in 1972, 73, I said I'd be a bus driver because they said bus drivers make $6.50 an hour. I was like, man, I'm working at Kentucky Fried Chicken, making $1.25, $6.25 an hour. I'll be rich.
Right.
So when I first started making money, because in '89, when I did 10 years in New York, from '79 to '89, I was in New York.
Okay.
And then I got to Hollywood in '89. Now, from '79 to '89, I made no money really in New York. And then when I got to LA in '89, I had to start all over again.
Okay.
So I'm not even getting into all the jobs I had. But when I started making money, like it changes like overnight.
Yeah.
Like one day I went to the club and I was by myself with like 2 people and I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And about when Dead Presidents came out, I went to the club with like 30 people. They were like, oh, shucks. I can't cuss. That's Cuddy. Cuddy, who you with? I'm like, I got everybody with me. Hell, man, come on in. And it happens overnight. So
Yeah.
overnight you might have 1 or 2 girls that like you. Overnight now you wake up, it's like 25 girls like you. You know, all your family calling you. So
Yeah.
it's a weird feeling. And I remember telling my ex-wife, I said, I just put $10,000 in the bank. I said, we made it. She said, Negro. She didn't say Negro, but you know, she said the N-I-G-G-A word. And I really, it hit me that a lot of it is based on money and visibility and being able to get in the front of the line, and it's a fallacy.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I've worked hard to do is try to keep my head level in all of that, because I think after I did the TV show Rock, at one episode, my phone rang across, because the show was live.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest turning points. My phone rang, I think, every 20 minutes for like 3 straight hours.
Wow.
And it was just simply overwhelming. And then from there, I did Minister Society, Dead President, Rush Hour, and then Deep Rising, Phantoms with Ben Affleck, Deep Rising with Treat Williams. And then I was just on this incredible role for like 10 years.
Yeah, because you're like, you were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Is there a point, because one thing we can say is we've never seen you in a scandal. We've never seen your name come up in anything.
Shut up. What y'all looking at? Shut up.
How have you managed to handle that? Because, you know, you've got family, you've got friends, obviously women. How do you handle being a public figure and being in the spotlight and still be able to keep some sense of privacy to yourself?
Do we have any Hennessy? Shut up. Who sent you? You know, that's a good question.